Hi everyone, thank you for coming again. So today I'm going to talk about the Meiji era, how kimono reflected Japan's modernization. The Meiji era began in 1868 and marked one of the greatest turning points in Japanese history. After more than 200 years of isolation, Japan opened its doors to the world and began building a modern nation. To learn from Western countries, the Meiji government invited many foreign specialists known as Uyatoi Gaikokujin. They introduced modern technology, education, art, architecture, medicine, and Western lifestyles. Their influence soon reached clothing as well. Before the Meiji era, Japanese clothing was sewn entirely by hand. During Commodore Perry's second visit to Japan, he presented a sewing machine to the Tokugawa shogunate. Yeah, you see the picture on the left. Yeah, that is the sewing machine. That is the same type of sewing machine that Perry gifted to the Tokugawa shogunate. It introduced a new way of making clothes and symbolized the arrival of Western technology in Japan. The Meiji government believed that the leaders of the country should set an example. In 1871, it issued a Danpatsu Dattore, encouraging men to cut off their traditional topknots and prohibiting the wearing of swords in public. These changes symbolize the end of the samurai era and the beginning of modern society. The leaders themselves embraced this new image. Emperor Meiji often appeared in a military uniform, and Empress Shokin adopted Western-style dresses and hairstyles. The picture on the top, that is the Empress Shokin. When I look at portraits of Emperor Meiji and Empress Shokin, I see more than a change in fashion. I see their determination to lead Japan into a new era. By changing their own appearance, they encouraged the nation to move forward with them. Their message was clear. Japan was entering a new age, and they wanted to lead that image. The same spirit could be seen in the Rokumeikan, a Western-style reception hall in Tokyo, where foreign diplomats and Japanese officials attended formal parties. Members of the upper class wore tuxedos and evening gowns instead of kimono. Although this fashion was limited to the elite, it reflected Japan's determination to present itself as a modern nation. The same spirit of modernization also encouraged the development of Japan's silk industry. So the picture on the right, that is, Oyama Sematsu. So she was one of the ladies who went to America in the Iwakura Setsudan. So she was kind of used to this Western style. So she was kind of the leader at Rokumeikan to be able to walk smoothly and dance smoothly in the Western style. For most ordinary people, however, change came more gradually. Kimono remained the standard of clothing for both men and women. Most people wore practical cotton kimono for everyday life because they were so durable, comfortable, and affordable. So the finest silk kimonos were worn for weddings, New Year celebrations, festivals, and other special occasions. At the same time, Western fashion slowly became part of everyday life. For example, men often wore hats with kimono, while women carried handbags and used Western-style umbrellas. Instead of replacing kimono, people combined Japanese and Western styles in their own way. This unique style is known as byYOKO, a harmonious blend of Japanese and Western culture. Another important change took place in the silk industry. In 1909, Japan became the world's largest exporter of raw silk. The silk dresses were highly fashionable in Europe, but a disease affecting silkworms had gradually reduced silk production there. As a result, high-quality Japanese silk was a great demand. To improve silk production, the government established the Tomioka silk mill in 1872, Japan's first modern silk reeling factory. A French engineer, Paul Bruno, introduced a modern technology and production methods which soon spread throughout the country. Silkworms, respectively, were called okaiko-sama, were raised mainly in Gunma, Nagano, Yamanashi, and Saitama. So those are the prefectures very well known for the making of kimono. These regions also became famous for silk textiles. Like Gunma is known for kiryuri and the Sasaki kasuri. Nagano is famous for Shinshu tsumugi. Saitama is well known for chichibu meisen. Today I'm wearing a chichibu meisen obi sash. Among them, chichibu meisen is especially interesting. Its bold colors and geometric patterns were inspired by European Art Nouveau and Art Deco. It became fashionable because it was colorful, modern, and affordable, especially among young women. Chichibu Mason is a wonderful example for byYOKO. Rather than simply copying Western fashion, Japanese designers blended Western artistic influences with traditional Japanese craftsmanship to create something uniquely Japanese. So this spirit can be seen throughout Japanese history. Like Buddhism came from the Asian continent, but developed alongside Japan's native Shinto beliefs. Chinese characters were introduced from China, yet Japan created hiragana and katakana. Tea was brought from China, but it evolved into uniquely Japanese tea ceremony. So, just as Japan embraced new ideas without losing its identity, the kimono also continued to evolve. It did not remain unchanged, nor did it become completely Western. Instead, it absorbed new influences while preserving its own character. To me, this is one of the most fascinating aspects of Japanese culture. Rather than rejecting foreign ideas, Japan has often welcomed them, adopted them, and transformed them into something really unique Japanese. Yeah. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening.